All right. Well, welcome. My name is Missy Hides, and I'm an independent consultant and national vice president with Arbonne. And this is our Getting Started training. And we're just so glad that you are taking some time to be on to get the training that you need to get your business started. And I really hope that as you listen, you take some notes and write down any questions that you have, and then chat with your upline about what those are. But we're just so excited, and we do have some people on live this morning on this video, and so it's just a privilege to be able to share, and then for you as you watch the recording to get this. So, all right, we're going to jump right in. And so as we chat through these getting started steps as a new consultant, they're very, very important. But what I want to take us back to before we get to the hows and the whys of what we're going to do in this business, I want to start with a little bit of the who, meaning who you are, okay? And what you, your core beliefs about yourself. And I'm just going to briefly touch on this, but oftentimes when I find what will paralyze a consultant or keep a consultant from going and doing the next right thing is not that they don't know the how or the why. They get stuck in the who they are. Your mindset so matters in life, but absolutely in this business. Discouragement, how we perceive situations, our perspective, whether we are kind of looking to the left or looking to the right as we're doing the activity, is so shored up in this little space right here. Okay. And so I just want to encourage you to really, as you embrace the getting started steps, the hows and the whys, I want you to really start to embrace the who component of the personal growth that you're going to experience in this business. And you're going to get a lot more training on this. You're going to get a lot of training on minding your mind, on personal growth and development, because you will grow to the level of a leader that you grow personally. And so there are a couple of things we're going to talk about in regards to this. One of them is, again, minding your mind. The second is keeping your commitment and seeing this thing through until. And I don't know what the until is for you. The until might be a certain level of promotion. The until might be a certain level of paycheck. The until might be until, there might not be but an ending time for you. But what I'm going to ask you to do is to keep your commitment and really shelf your feelings. Our feelings are fickle, and they will always lead us to the path of least resistance. Anything that you're going to attempt to do in your life that you're looking to have growth and success, whether it is in relationships, in your finances, in your health, in a business, in your school, whatever it is, if you let your feelings be the captain, you will stay at shore. Okay. And it's the same thing with this business. So we really want to shelf our feelings. We want to do the right things. And then here's the beautiful part is the feelings will start to follow, but we don't let our feelings guide us in this process or really in any capacity or component of our life. So I'm going to ask you to keep your commitment and keep your word to yourself. I also want you to know that you are deserving of all that this business can bring you, and you can do this. You can do this. You might be the only person in your circle, in your family, in your community that is stepping out, and you have this entrepreneurial spirit, or you're like, I don't even know if I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I just love these products, and I love this community and this culture that it's offering me, and I want to try it. I want to give it a shot. And I just want you to know that you can do this. You can do this. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do in this section, there's a little bit of homework here, is I want you to write down, after you watch this video, 5 I am statements that you will start to speak over yourself in regards to this business. Some of those I am statements can be, I can do this. You know, I think about, I think there was a funny like SNL skit of like, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and, you know, gosh darn it, people like me. These are those, I know that's kind of silly, but these are the things that you want to be speaking. You want to speak, I am strong enough, I am capable, I have influence with others, I have a message and a mission to offer others, you know, help for their health, help for their finances. I am a successful business owner. I can't help but attract people to me and my business. I love and serve others well. I am committed. I do what is required. I go first. You know, whatever those I am statements are that really resonate for you. And we all know where those places are that we struggle with the who that we are. But anytime people are, and this again is not just in Arbonne, but in life, what gets attacked is the who you are, not the what you're doing. Who you are is what gets attacked and what gets sabotaged and what creates like just a stagnation in people's life. It's really never the what they're doing. Okay, so that's a little bit about what I wanted to cover on the who. So now we're going to jump in to the how and the why. So I'm going to share my screen with you so you guys can see what I'm going to see at the same time. And oh, there's a message from my friend Lisa. I'll close out these other tabs. Okay, so this is our Facebook team page. And this is the page that, if somebody's not muted, go ahead and mute yourself. Everybody should be muted, but if you came in, just go ahead and, I see it. I got it, who was unmuted. Okay, so this is our Facebook team page, and it's found on Facebook. It's called Life by Design. You, as a new consultant, you have been added to this. You have more than likely been welcomed to this. As you sponsor people into your team, you are going to also add them here. This is our community. This is where we communicate all kinds of stuff. This is where we cheer each other on. This is where we share encouragement. This is kind of our personal team home office. Okay, consider it like that. So I guess you guys are going to see my notes since you're seeing my screen. Maybe, I don't know. Do you see my Word document there? Maybe you do. No, you don't? Oh, cool. You just see the Facebook. Brilliant. Okay, see, we're all learning in this process. Okay, so on the unit section here, this is where the getting started steps are housed. So again, we're going to direct new consultants here so that they kind of know where they're getting started. My recommendation is to tag them only in post 1, because as they do post 1, then it's a natural flow to go to post 2, post 3. You know, you don't have to tag them in every post. If they are kind of stuck, or you guys have had conversation about maybe one of the steps, you could obviously go back and tag them in that, but I think just tagging people in post 1 would be sufficient. Okay, so on step 1 here, we're going to click on this and we're going to see this. So this is just a really simple place that you can see the getting started steps. I would recommend saving this image to your phone in the photos so that when you sponsor a new consultant, you can send them this immediately. And you can say, hey, we're going to walk you through these getting started steps, but here's a quick overview on the 8 steps that we have to getting started. What it does is it creates some confidence for them. They feel like, okay, good. I don't have to figure this out on my own. It gives them all of the steps at one time, because guess what? Everybody gets to decide their own pace, and their pace might not be your pace. So you might sponsor someone and they're going to plow through all 8 steps in the first 12 hours of signing up. So don't hold back from them because you don't want to quote unquote overwhelm them. You just give people everything that they need, which is right here, and then they get to decide their pace. Other people, it might take them 12 days to just do step 1. But that really isn't for you to decide. All we can do is make our best recommendation and lead from the front, model and inspire for them what's possible, and direct them to the next right thing to do. Okay, so here's what we're looking at, and we're going to walk through these 8 steps in detail, but I would recommend absolutely saving that image so that you have it for a quick reference. So step number 2, you have signed up, you are getting your business started. I can't see that very well. Okay, so you've signed up, and now we're going to recommend, if you haven't yet, that you go ahead and purchase your product. We recommend purchasing 2 ASVPs, one being the nutrition, the second being the skincare. These are Arbonne's 2 flagship product lines. These are the 2 product lines that most often are going to be the way you're going to introduce someone to Arbonne. These are the 2 product lines that yield the quickest and the most noticeable results for people. And this is really just kind of the core foundation of what we are sharing with people. There is no requirement for purchase. So if you don't have a budget that has enough space for you to make the product purchase for both, then we would recommend that you start with the 30 Days to Healthy Living program. This is the Nutrition ASVP. The reason being is that the businesses across the board with Arbonne that are very strong, very stable, and growing at a nice and making gains and a nice increase are sharing very consistently the 30 Days to Healthy Living program. Our skincare line is wonderful. It lasts 5 to 6 months. Our 30 Days to Healthy Living program is awesome. It lasts 30 days, right? So someone uses the products, and with the skincare, they may not have to order again for 4, 5, 6 months. Someone orders the nutrition and they love it, they're going to be placing a reorder with you in those next 30 days. Most people are needing more help. I think people need help in their skin and their nutrition, but I think more people are needing guidance, education, some help on their health, oftentimes more than their skin. Okay, so you can see what we recommend there. When you get both ASVP sets, you get free shipping. You also get over 600 QV. QV means qualifying volume. That is the sales credit that you get for those product purchases, and those give you a nice start on working towards promoting to district manager. Okay, so again, you make the purchase. My recommendation when people are making a purchase for their business is that you purchase enough product that you feel like you've started a business, okay? But you don't make such a large purchase that it panics you or paralyzes you. And you have to know what that line is. That line or gauge is different for everyone. But I do believe that we need to throw our hat over the fence. We need to make a purchase commitment. We need to jump in and then really treat this like a business and really run after it like a business. Okay, so I would be setting you up to be less successful if I said you don't need to purchase any products. I really do believe that people should purchase some products. Again, I'm not here to tell you what that product should look like. I'm here to simply make the recommendation on what I see is best to get consultants up and running. Also remember that typically what you do, those that you sponsor into the business will do the same. And so you're modeling from them from day one what you're doing, and then you share that with them, and they most often will do what you did. Okay, so that's step 2 of the 8 steps. Step 3, or now I guess we're on to step 2, post 3, sorry. Okay, so this is, we're gonna start and make a 100-person name list. And on average, the average person knows 250 people. Okay, so if you're like, I don't know 100 people, goodness, yes, you do. You have probably over 100 people that you're quote unquote friends with on Facebook. You probably have over 100 people in your contacts on your phone, right? You probably have a work environment, a church community, a neighborhood. You have over 100 people in your life. So what you want to do, I really love paper. I'm a paper person, but if you're like, I love spreadsheets and things and all of that, you can do that, but you want this to be accessible and mobile. So if the only way that you can have a spreadsheet is on your laptop or your desktop computer, I'm going to recommend you pull out a piece of paper, because you need to have this 100-person name list with you for kind of almost all the time, because you're going to be adding names to it when you are waiting for, when you've got little bits of downtime, when we will teach you to work this business in nooks and cranny time. You need to have a list of who you are reaching out to. So write down every name that comes to mind. And even if the name that comes to mind is your 90-year-old grandmother, just write it down, not because you maybe are even going to reach out to her about Arbonne at this point, but when you get her name off of your brain, it makes space for new people to be dropped in. Okay, so just trust me on this, just write names down. Now, if you have 97 cousins and, they need to be over 18 years old. So if you have like friends and they've got 7 kids and they're all under the age of 18, like don't write all of those kids' names down. Think about people who are 18 or older and just start writing people's names down. We give you a lot of different ideas here. It doesn't matter whether you think they will or won't be interested in Arbonne. It doesn't matter if you think if they will or won't be curious to hear a little bit more about the business. At this point, you're just doing a brain dump and you're just getting people's names on a piece of paper. Okay, so one of the things that I love is that there are memory joggers here. And so this can be helpful because you're gonna have, when I talk about contacts or people on this list, you're gonna have, think of a bullseye. The inner circle of the bullseye, this is your loved ones, this is your family, this is like your core group of friends. So this is a pretty small group, okay? Our goal is to get you out of that group in regards to your business on day one, right? Because this is not a business where you're going to continually or constantly be just sharing with your family and your friends. That's not a blessing to them, and it's not going to grow your business. The next circle, these are your friends. These are maybe people you hang out with, but they're not necessarily kind of in that core circle, okay? The next group is acquaintances. Acquaintances are often friends of friends, people that you have relationship with, maybe at the gym or at your workplace, but you don't really know a lot about them, but you have this acquaintance relationship. Or maybe like, you have consistent people in your life, like a pharmacist or a bank teller, and you're like, oh, hey, I know Michelle from the bank, and she's been my bank teller for years. Like, she's an acquaintance, right? If you ran into her in the grocery store, more than likely you would recognize her enough to say hi, but you aren't doing a lot of life with her. And then that outside circle, these are strangers, okay? These are the people you have not yet met in your life. And so our aim is to get you out of the family and the friends markets, move you into the acquaintance markets, and your acquaintance markets are often going to lead you to the stranger market, okay? So we don't have to do like door to door. We don't have to do cold calling. You can do cold reach outs via social media, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I recommend everyone starting with those first 3 kind of categories: friends, family, and or family, friends, and acquaintances. Okay, so just go through this list, get to 100 names, just do it. Just start to discipline yourself to do the things that you didn't think that you could do, or the things that feel hard, or the things that feel challenging. Okay, once you have this written out, and this is why I like this on paper, is you make 3 columns. Okay, And this is a way to sort. So what this is telling you in here, in this middle section, is that these people might tell you no to the products. They might try a product. They might, join your team. The goal is everybody right now is in the maybe column, and your job is just to move them out of the maybe column. And as you continue to share Arbonne with people, they can't stay in the maybe column. They're either a yes or they're a no right now. I don't really believe people are a no forever until they're no longer breathing. Because you just never know when this might be a fit for them. So you have to move them out of this maybe column. But a way that you can start to sort people is you have this list and then you make 3 columns. So you have like the names of people, think of an Excel spreadsheet, and then you have 3 more columns, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go through everybody on the list, and you're gonna go through this list 3 times, okay? And everybody is gonna get a check mark in this first column if they're a people person, if they're like, you just enjoy them or other people enjoy them. They're the people that come into the room and it's like, oh, I'm so glad she's here or he's here, or man, he's so funny, or we have a great time with them, or they're so kind, or they're just people, okay? They don't have to be flamboyant. They don't have to be the center of attention in order to get a check mark here, but like they just have nice people skills. They like people, and they're somewhat, I would say, positive. If you have like the drama Debbies or the Debbie Downers or the Eeyores in your list here, they're not getting a check mark. And it's okay that not everyone's getting a check mark every time you go through these. Okay, so that's column 1. Column 2 is they get a check mark if they're just someone that displays in their life, in their work, in their relationships, just like they're just a hard worker. They're a disciplined person. They have accomplished things. Examples I like to use is it can be everything from they've done a debt-free plan and they got debt-free, or they went on a health journey and they lost weight, or they just are, they're a committed person. So if they volunteer for something at school or at church or at work, like, that they're going to follow through. They work hard at whatever tasks that they're doing. And again, this can be everything from the stay-at-home mom, the college student, to the corporate CEO. We can see these things in people's life. Okay. So, and as best as you can, you want to cover up column 1 so that you're only evaluating people on column 2. The second time around, okay? And then the third column is they're going to get a check mark if they have influence in their market or you have influence with them. Like if there's somebody that listens to what you say, they like your opinion, they want to know what you think of things, they're going to get a check mark on this, okay? And again, they might be somebody that kind of makes you a little bit nervous and you're like, ooh, I don't think I have influence with them. Maybe there's a woman that you go to church with and she's an executive in her job and she's, you just like, you like her and you think she's awesome, but you don't know her very well and she's never asked your opinion on anything, and you don't maybe feel like you have influence with her, but she absolutely has influence with her market. People want to hear what she has to say. People take her advice. She makes a recommendation or she shares something and they're like, oh yeah. And again, you guys, you can have some of your most powerful influencers. We see it all the time on social media, in young people, in stay-at-home moms, in, retired people who have just been faithful their whole life and they've got, that wisdom and stature. So we're not necessarily just we don't give people influence who are just, like really successful in a job. So what you do is you go through this, getting this 100-person names list these 3 times, and then you remove the paper. And what you find is you find your 3 checkmark people. Your 3 checkmark people are probably the people that are the best candidates for you to start reaching out with. We will get to the 2 check mark people. We will get to the 1 check mark people. The people that got no checks, we're just going to table them for a little bit, okay? And that the person that got no checks, it might be like a sister or a cousin or a best friend, and that's okay. That doesn't determine their value or their worth. It just means that right now, they're probably not the best candidate for you to start reaching out to, okay? Because oftentimes we reach out to the people that we want to, that we're like, oh, they totally need this, or they, whatever, but they're not people that are displaying good people skills, a work ethic, or influence, right? And so you are looking for people that carry those 3 characteristics, and they can bring that to the table, because then all you need to teach them are these basic skills of Arbonne. Arbonne's a really simple business, and when you can sponsor people into your business that bring those components to the table, they can grow very quickly, because you're not having to teach them people skills. You're not having to teach them a work ethic, right? And so that's where we're going to start, is we're going to start with those top 10 to 15 people and just start sharing with them. And again, we're going to be sharing with lots of people. We've just started with a 100 names list, and we're going to be sharing with people the whole story, and then letting them pick whether they want the business or the products or all of it, or just one part of it, like protein powder or fizzies or mascara, right? But we are wanting to help you find your teammates, your business partners ASAP. And so this is the best way that we can do that, right? But I do want to remind you that this business for you and those you sponsor into your business is never about who you currently know. It's about who you're going to meet along the way. As I'm looking who is on live this morning, I don't think there's one of you that I knew when I started my business. I don't even think I knew any of you prior to probably 4 years ago. And I've been in Arbonne over a decade, okay? So this is absolutely not a business that's only gonna be built on who you currently know. It's gonna be who you meet along the way, but we're gonna start with who you know. And one little phrase that I learned years ago that I found very helpful, especially when you're speaking about Arbonne to your family or your close friends, because they're the ones that are going to feel the most free to share their opinions with you, the wrong opinion, the wrong, negative, concerned, critical opinions, whatever. They're doing it because they love you. That's all that it is. But what you can share with them is, hey, I'm not looking for you to keep me in business. I'm just looking if you would willing to help me get started and let me practice on you. If you would introduce me to some of your friends or acquaintances, I'm not looking, I don't expect that you're going to keep me in business. I'm just asking that you would help me get started. Okay. And that kind of frees them up to be like, okay, I'm going to, share 10 people with you, or connect you up with 5 or 10 people, and they know it's probably a one-time thing. You're not going to call them, every week and be like, hey, who can you introduce me to? Hey, I really need you to do this. That's not at all how we run these businesses. That's not professional. It's icky. And that's not at all the heart behind what we're doing. Okay. So there's your 100 names list. Next, we're moving on to steps 3 and 4. So this is about getting your presence out into the world via social media. Okay. Most of you are going to have some sort of social media presence, whether you choose that through Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat. If you don't currently have any social media presence, I'm going to recommend that you get started, okay? And you can visit with your upline or your sponsor about this and what that will look like. But social media is a business tool. Okay, it's not, we're not doing it because we're looking to waste time. We're not looking to do this because we're just, self-absorbed, or just looking for people to look at our lives in a really skewed way. It's a business tool. It is a 21st century, 2019 business tool that I absolutely believe has to be embraced on some level. Okay, you don't have to become an expert at social media. You don't have to live on social media, but you do have to at least start sharing some on social media. Okay, so there are people, so yes, what it's talking about here is that we're sharing with people our life. We're not selling products via social media. Okay, we don't want to be posting, for example, stock photos that Arbonne provides of like what it looks like, you know, like a picture of the protein and be like, hey, if you want to buy protein, call me. That's not at all what we're doing. We're sharing how we're using these products, the community and the culture that we're about, what we're learning, we're sharing, we're being of value to people. You know, you want your post to always create value and content for them. So step 3 is we recommend that you find some Arbonne consultants that you resonate with, you like their style, you like how they post, you feel like, one, you can learn from them, but also you just like what they're offering, and follow them. It's a way to learn. It's a way to be taught. You can also use some of their like images. I always recommend creating your own content for the post. But you can use like reuse images and things like that, or it gives you ideas. So there's some suggestions here. So step 4 is it's time to post. You're a new consultant, you're getting your business started, and so it's time to post, okay? There is not ever, ever, ever a strategy where you're gonna post 3 to 5 times a day in your Arbonne business on a social media platform, and that is gonna be the way that you're going to, you know, only grow this business. We have a toolbox that we say in Arbonne with lots of tools. Social media is just one of those tools, okay? So we aren't gonna spam people. We aren't gonna be over the top with our posts, but we do need to share because it gives you a really broad reach through social media to share with people what you're doing, okay? So I always, always, always recommend that you have a picture in your post. I have seen consultants that they'll have a great post, they'll share results from their 30 days, they'll share how they're feeling, but it's all text and there's no picture, and it is boring in that it doesn't capture the eye, it doesn't capture attention for people. And so I always, always, always recommend that you have a picture with any time that you're gonna post. Okay, so here's some ideas. When your welcome box comes, I've seen people use the Boomerang app, and it's like the box is opening and closing, opening and closing. Or there's just lots of fun things. Or you can post you holding some Arbonne product, or you drinking a fizz or a shake, or just like a nice selfie of you of like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about my new journey or my health journey, or I'm so excited for this new season. Wish me luck, or things like that. Okay, and we will help you formulate your posts. Be willing to give feedback to those on your team. If you see them post something and you're like, not the best, like it's not horrible, but it's not the best. Be willing to give feedback. Be kind, right? Be kind, but give feedback, and also be willing to take feedback. If you make a post and it just kind of isn't awesome, or it doesn't have a picture, or you know, you put things on there like, here's my website, or contact me if you want to buy something, like be willing for some feedback. You're learning how to do this. I'm always open to feedback. I'm learning how to always get better at what I'm doing, okay? So you can make a curiosity post about the 30 days. Maybe you haven't started, and so you're like, hey, I'm super excited for the next 30 days, a little scared, a little nervous, but super excited. Maybe you've done the 30 days as a preferred client, and now you've upgraded to a consultant. You have an awesome post in a before and an after picture. That is why every person that does 30 days to healthy living, we want them to take a before picture, because when they decide that they're going to be a consultant, they have that picture already captured, right? And now they have that after picture. So just, there's lots of different ideas. You can find different suggestions here, as well as when you follow people Again, be willing to get feedback. Ask your upline if you're like, okay, I want to put a post together. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm going to do. What do you think? Make them fun. Don't overthink them. Don't spend enormous amounts of time on these. Understand too that it's a learning curve. So as you do them, you'll get quicker at them. But you're just wanting to create curiosity. You're wanting to create engagement, often asking a question like, hey, I'm super pumped for my 30 days to healthy living journey, or I'm super pumped, I'm starting my health journey. I've been struggling with bloatedness, headaches, and like heartburn, whatever, or high cholesterol or something like that. And just say, you know, if you could change 3 things about your health, what would it be? And you can put that on your post, and then people will comment, and it creates engagement. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Every time we're reaching out to people, whether it's through social media, whether it's through messaging, whether it's through texting, you always want to frame it in, I'm having, or I'm attempting to have conversation with people. I'm not looking to just blast information to them and have it be like a one-sided tennis match. You're looking for it to be a tennis match where I'm lobbing the ball to them and they're going to lob the ball back to me, and we have engagement and conversation. Okay. Don't expect your social media posts to be considered your activity for the day. They're not. We're going to talk about activity, and posting is like a small portion of it, but it's not. If you are only posting on social media and you think that that's going to grow your business, I think you're going to be disappointed. And I think it's not going to give you the results that you're hoping for. Okay. I will recommend too, to be mindful of product and logo placement. Not everything that you post has to have an Arbonne logo in it or an Arbonne product. Sometimes you just need to make posts because you're a mom, or you're a friend, or you're whatever, even what you're doing with your business, but it doesn't always have to have like product in it or a logo in it, or you don't have to always have Arbonne t-shirts or things. You can absolutely do that. But I think there is something refreshing when we see people making posts about their business or about their life, or, you know, whatever, and it doesn't always have to have product placement or a logo. Okay. Work to create content that is attractive. That has nothing to do with physical attractiveness, but attractive in the lighting of it, attractive in the like that's just appealing to the eye. It looks nice, it's clean. What? Sorry. It looks clean. It has good lighting, you know, all of those different things. Just make it attractive, work to make it inspiring at the same time. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about on our social media is that your social media account now is representing you. And so you might need to go back and clean up your account because this is a representation of you. And where I have seen this is people who have maybe been in Arbonne for a while and they weren't so good at it at the beginning. And if they go back, it's like, oh my gosh, every other post is like those stock photos from the Arbonne website, and it's giving all kinds of product information or nutritional, you know, ingredients about the protein or the fizzies. And it might just be like, oh, that's not effective, because the only people liking it is your mom and our other Arbonne consultants, right? You can just pull those down. You might have posts up that are vulgar. You might have posts up that are just complaining or negative or bashing something in society. And again, if that's how you want to be represented as a person and as a business owner, that is absolutely your choice. But understand that like attracts like. And so if a lot of your posts are like complaining, negative, ugh feeling, you're going to attract that into your business. And that's more than likely probably not what you want in your business, okay? I'm not saying you have to be rainbows and unicorn and Miss Sunshine 24/7, but what I am saying is you want to look at your presence on social media and say, is this conveying who I am? is this putting forth what I'm all about? Okay. And if it's not, then just take them down. And I actually have my Facebook set so that people that tag me in things, I have to approve whether they go on my wall, because I have people who would want to tag me in articles or memes that are just not how I want to be represented. And so it's fine that they want to tag me in it. It might be funny, kind of funny, whatever, but it's not what I want to be sharing with the world. So also be mindful of that. Like, because sometimes things are being put on your Facebook wall that you maybe didn't post, but somebody posted and tagged you in it. Okay. So again, questions with that, talk to your upline, but that is an important part of our getting started. So now we're on to step 5, your 21 reasons why. This is a must step. These are all must steps, but this is a step that can be easily like stepped over, and people will not engage in it. And so if you can't pull out a piece of paper or show me on your phone, on your notes app, 21 reasons why, then you haven't done this step. Okay. So if you as a new consultant, you just really want to do this, and it's super important. And it's going to be one of the activities that you're maybe not even going to understand the significance until a little bit later as you grow your business. Okay. But this is where you want to take some time to sit and reflect about why you are building this business. Really, why? Okay. Most often it is linked to time freedom, financial freedom, and in that time freedom will come like the ability to help other people, the ability to volunteer, the ability to make a difference, make an impact. Okay, but we want to be as specific as possible. The time freedom and the financial freedom are really big umbrellas that encompass all kinds of things. And what you want to do is you want to get as specific as possible. Even here, pay off my credit card and put the amount, $1,500 or $15,000, whatever that amount is. You want to get as specific as possible. Pay my kids' tuition. What's that amount? Okay. Walk away from my job. When? Put a date. Allow your husband and put his name, to cut back from his hours, and then put the name of his place of employment. Whatever those things are, get as specific as possible. Put the big whys, like the debt freeze and the quit my jobs or stay home with my kids or the trips. Put the big whys, and then put the little whys. The little whys, you guys, are so important. The little whys are, I go to a restaurant and I don't look at the price when I order. I just order what I want. That's a little why, but that's actually a big why, because it changes. It starts to shift how you do everything. The little things really are what give us those big things in life. So that's a little example. Or for me, there's a store that I love, and I knew once I became a national vice president, one of my whys was I wanted to be able to shop at that store without reservation. That's not to say I'm not going to be mindful of a budget that my husband and I have set up, but I'm going to be able to shop at that store because that's the store I enjoy their clothes. I enjoy the experience of shopping there. Okay, so that's a little thing that's very insignificant compared to a lot of these big whys, but they're both important. Okay, so get as specific as possible. You will know you are hitting some of these whys when you get a little bit of tears or moisture in the eye. They don't have to make you boo-hoo cry, but they do have to cause some feelings to rise up. Either like, oh my gosh, if that actually happened, that would be so fun. Or wow, what a sense of stress that would be gone. Like you feel almost this tension coming out of your shoulders and your back and your neck when that why, thinking of that why being accomplished. Or what a gift it would be to give your family or your friends or your church this gift, this why, when you can accomplish that, okay? So think about those things, write out the 21 reasons, carry it with you, and then post it. Post it somewhere so you can see, why are you willing to get uncomfortable? Why are you willing to grow this business? Why are you willing to step out? And get as specific as possible with these, and it will create so much impact. And then the amazing part is, as you start to accomplish these, you get to check them off, and then you get to add more. But to be able to look back and say, oh my gosh, in the first 90 days, I've accomplished 5 of my 21 reasons why, that's powerful, and that's motivating to continue on. After 12 months, you might be able to check off every 21 reason that you have on that piece of paper. Because often what I find is the first 21 reasons are typically about you, they're typically about your family, and they're typically tied to your own finances and time. Once you get through those first 21, you have dreamed bigger, you've expanded your vision, and your next set of whys are a little bit more maybe global in reach, sponsoring a kid, you know, traveling the world, paying off your, you know, maybe your first 21 reasons was paying off your house. Well, what if in the next 21 reasons you get to pay off your parents' house if it's not paid off? Or you get to pay off your sibling's house? Like, imagine that kind of impact, because that's what's possible in this business, okay? So step 6, we're gonna have our 2 launches. This is thinking of casting a big net, okay? We're not gonna fish with a fishing pole, we're gonna fish with nets, and we're gonna cast a wide net. So your launches can be in person, they can be virtual, you can do a combination of both. You're gonna talk to your sponsor specifically about what's gonna work for you, for your market, your preference. You're gonna be open to their feedback and suggestions, but we recommend getting those on the calendar as soon as possible. Your upline or VP is going to do your launches with you, so you're not gonna be alone in this. This is a way that we can really get people trained in on sharing the products, interacting with people, sharing the business, and they're just a lot of fun, but they're just a starting place, okay? They're not the be-all, end-all. If you have a launch and only 2 people come, that is not indicative of the long-term success that you're gonna have in your business. It's just the starting place, okay? So, but they are important, and we wanna get those on the calendar as soon as possible. Okay, so step 7, we're almost done. We got step 7 and step 8. Step 7 is activity, 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 activity. Activity is the key to the success you are wanting, and you cannot grow a business without activity. This is absolutely a numbers game, which just means the more people you share with, the quicker you share with, the more, the sooner you're going to see the results. Okay, so your next assignment is, after you've done these first 6 steps, and again, most of those first steps can be done in an hour. Like, it's not hard. It doesn't, those first several steps can be done very quickly. And now getting into step 7 is where we're gonna really start putting our hand to our business. The activity is what is gonna take up most of the 10 hours, 10 to 15 hours a week that you're gonna be investing into your business, okay? So here's suggestions. There's lots of suggestions for activity. Remember, we have a toolbox. There's all kinds of tools that you can pick out. Start trying all of them, and as you're trying them, figure out which ones you like, figure out which ones are comfortable for you, feel which ones are most effective for you, for your market and your time. Some of what is going to be most effective might not feel comfortable, and so you have to decide, do I want to just do the activity that's comfortable, or do I want to do the activity that's effective and going to grow my business? So it can be sharing on social media, having conversations with people one-on-one, whether that's in person or over an app that we often use called Zoom. We can share the business and the products that way. You can send videos to people, but I recommend not sending them until they have said it's okay to send it. So I ask, if I sent you a video sharing a little bit about more what I did, or whatever XYZ reasons, right? We've been in conversation. Would you check it out? And then we could chat. So I wouldn't just blast videos to people that you haven't had any conversation with, that they haven't agreed to watch it, because it won't be very effective activity, okay? You can set up events, again, like your launch events. These can be in person or these can be virtual. You're gonna start messaging through your 100 names list people, and your upliner and your sponsor are gonna work with you on what are you sending them? What does that sound like? How does that work? You can send typed out texts, but you can also send out voice memos, and the voice memos are yielding about a much higher return on response for a lot of people. And so that might be something that you want to consider, kind of practicing what you're going to say, making it sound like you, making it be comfortable with how it sounds, but sending the voice memos, because they hear your excitement. They also hear your nervousness. They hear your authenticity, and it's brave. It's so brave, you guys, in 2019 to send a voice memo or to get on the phone and call somebody, right? Text isn't putting yourself out there. It's not taking courage, really. It's fine to do it, and it is effective, but I do think there's an element when you're willing to get a voice memo that you're just telling people, like, I'm really doing this, and I'm genuine in it, and I'm excited about it, and I thought of you because, okay? So you can do like detox dinners. You can do some makeup events. The detox dinners, ask your upline about those, but there's just a variety of ways that we get into consistent activity, okay? And these are all in the bucket of consistent activity, meaning monthly activity, weekly activity. And then there's some other activities that you can do that can be effective, but they're just the extras. They're not really part of the consistent activity. And those would be like vendor events, or donating a product basket to a fundraiser, or things like, or even like an open house. Like, those are fine. They can yield some return. Or if you have, like, a health club, and they'll let you come in and set up an Arbonne table and you give out fizzies. Or I know a gal on the team just recently was at a golf scramble, and she was at one of the holes with Arbonne product, and it was great. It generates lots of leads, but it's not part of the consistent activity that we're going to be looking to do daily, weekly, monthly, okay? And so again, figure out what feels authentic to you. The goal is to complete this checklist, which I hope you guys can see when I bring it up, every month, which is find 8 people to become preferred clients of yours, whether they're using the nutrition program or the skincare or some combination. And then you're looking to teach 2 new consultants that you're sponsoring direct to you, to do the same. And it shows you here, I would recommend printing this out every month and putting the date. And this is kind of your game plan for the month. And it shows you, if you have 8 nutrition kits that you sell between you and your team, you go into qualification for district. You sell 19, you're a new district manager, you sell 32. You've now promoted through district manager qualifications, and you're actually in qualification for the 2nd level of management, which is area manager. And then down here, this is just a tracking of conversations, 40 conversations. Reaching out to people and messaging them is not a conversation. You just lobbed the tennis ball. But until they've lobbed it back and you've gotten the opportunity to share with them the full story of Arbonne, whether it is in person or through a video or at an event, it's not a conversation, okay? So even if you're like, oh, I sent the video to 40 people, if you haven't engaged back and forth, if there hasn't been some dialogue, some feedback, some like, well, what did they think? Where were they at? Where are we moving them to? It's not a conversation, okay? And so this is a great way to track. You can use the back of the page to keep track of all the people you're asking, all the people you're lobbing that ball to, and saying, hey, I'd love to share this with you. Hey, I'd love to send you a video. Hey, I'd love to invite you to a detox dinner, okay? There's a lot of people that are going to be on the back of the sheet, but they don't get to come to the front of the sheet as one of the conversations until you have some engagement with them, okay? Hope you guys are finding this helpful. All right, and then the last step is you want to plug in and stay connected. This is very important to stay connected. I recommend making the Life by Design Facebook page like a priority, so that whenever there is a post, you get notified of that. You want to be attending whatever is in your area. When I first started Arbonne, the rule was 4 hours, okay? Whatever was within 4 hours, it was recommended that we travel to it and we attended it. Discover Arbonne's, consultant training events, you know, anything like that. 2019, we can do a lot of things virtually. So I don't know if 4 hours is the marker anymore, but I am going to tell you, you have to be willing to go and engage in things that are an hour or 2 hours away. When you can't just be like, well, if it's not in my neighborhood or 15, 20 minutes from me, I'm not going to do it. And it's not because you can't learn virtually. You can, but you can't experience the culture of Arbonne virtually as well as you can when you come into a room and you look around and you're like, oh, these are amazing people. Everybody's so different, but everybody's so happy and positive and life-giving. Like, you can't really experience that virtually, I don't think, as well. And so I do recommend engaging with local consultants and being willing to travel. Attend GTC, okay? That's our global training conference every year. It is an incredible event. It will take sacrifice. It will take time. It does take a financial investment. It is worth it. It's a tax write-off. It's a business expense. It is so worth it, not only for your business, but absolutely for your life. And we have a great time. Okay. We also have weekly team huddles. Our team right now, we do them on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Again, you log on, but I'm going to ask you that you get on these calls like you would a staff meeting at your job. Staff meetings are not optional, and I don't really see these meetings as optional either. Sorry, I'm trying to get to my Word document. I don't see these meetings as optional either. They're important, they're time sensitive sometimes, and it is a way to get your pitcher filled up before the week starts. I will tell you that a consultant that treats Arbonne like a business will get paid like a business. Maybe not in your first month, maybe not even in your first 90 days, but it will treat you or pay you absolutely like a business. If you treat this as a hobby, meaning it's low on the priority list, you know, Sunday night football or whatever comes as like preference to your business, it's going to give you the return like a hobby. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. And most often hobbies cost us, right? They don't really pay us. And so you get to decide what you want to get the return out of this. You want to listen. We recommend making your car, making your earbuds, just a rolling university, a constant university of learning. There are some great apps one is called the SoundCloud app that you can download. Another that I like is Audible. On SoundCloud, you can follow Arbonne Has Training on Demand, as well as following ENVP Donna Johnson. There's great training there. Leaders are readers, okay? I said at the beginning that this business will grow to the level that you grow as a person, and so that comes from reading. I'm gonna make just quick 4 recommendations of books. First book, Go Pro by Eric Worre. This is a must read for all brand new consultants. What it does is it's 7 steps to becoming a network marketing professional. It's an excellent book. Second book, 4-Year Career by Richard Bliss Brooke. How to make your dreams of fun and financial freedom come true or not. And so it just talks about the value, the financial value, the benefits of having a network marketing, social marketing business like Arbonne. So these are the first 2 I'd recommend. Then the next 2 that I would recommend is Take the Stairs by Rory Vaden. This is an excellent book about self-discipline, about focus, about doing the next right thing. Such a great book. And then the last book is Anything by John Maxwell is excellent. I would endorse him all day long, but I love this book, and it's called Beyond Talent. Become someone who gets extraordinary results. Okay, so another great recommendation there. So leaders are readers. And then just be willing to grow, be willing to stretch, be willing to be uncomfortable. One of the phrases I heard years ago at a GTC, a global trading conference, was I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. And so I have disciplined myself to be comfortable being uncomfortable. When I'm reaching out to people, when I'm in situations, that feeling of uncomfortableness, I embrace as it's okay. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm comfortable having those 30 seconds of nervousness. I'm comfortable. I'm embracing that discomfort, because I know the discomfort is going to lead to growth and moving me in the direction that I want with my business. Okay, so that is our new consultant training. I'm so glad that you took the time to be on, to listen, to learn. You can reference these units, you can complete the units. There's so much value here, and just so excited for you and your business. And I absolutely know that the sky's the limit, and you can set the pace. You can grow your business as fast as you want or as slow as you want. And there's just a place for you here in this team to be known, to be loved, to be valued, to be seen. And we're so glad that you have decided to start your business with Arbonne. So thanks so much. Have a wonderful day, and be in touch with your upline, asking questions as you work through these steps and getting your launches put on the calendar. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.